Hey everyone, we're live again and we're going to be continuing where we left off last Monday with the survival horror project. We didn't really sculpt too much. I managed to make a radiator and I textured the box, and we started to work on like a little brush broom thing, and that's kind of where we left off. But one of the main I'd say problems I had was looking at reference images whilst I was streaming. I felt it was a bit difficult for me to keep focusing on reference images, trying to make sure I'm sculpting it properly, keeping up with the chat and all these kind of things. So I decided that I would focus mostly on texturing for the live streams, and then I created some assets beforehand. So I might still texture some things, as long as I don't need to look at too many reference images. If I just need to glance at something, and then I'll just try and create something from memory. Nice to see you, House Movement. Hope you're doing well. Just going to try and bring up the chat just now. YouTube's acting a bit slow today. So yeah, I built a bunch of different assets, some shelves, a little tea trolley, a cup, or a mug I should say, a kettle. I started working on a little unit here with like a sink, if you can see it here with the tap and stuff, but that's not finished yet. Maybe I'll finish that off later today. But right now it's just about texturing what I've made so far, and then if we have to sculpt a door, it's going to be mostly texturing a door, to be honest. It's not going to have too much detail. And I might finish off the sink. Hey, nice to see you, Dark River. Hope you've been doing well. Hopefully work has been okay. It's not been too stressful. I'm just going to update the thumbnail here. So I'll take you guys into the level just now. So if you remember, that all we really did last time was we made and textured the radiator. I textured this and this broom thing. I never really finished it. I got like the bristles for it, because there's two ways I could have done it. I could have just like built out a whole block and then maybe just like painted it to look like bristles, but I don't know, I feel like it would look a bit too blurry. So I'm going to try this method. I'll colour this, I'll duplicate loads of them, and then we'll see what happens. Also, I noticed this side comment on your stream. Side comment? What do you mean side comment? I'm going to have to figure out what that means. Right, I'm just going to update the thumbnail here. But I got most of the assets made for today. Just need to finish off the sink, a little table, a little mini fridge to keep like the milk and stuff. Do the doors, and one thing I've got here, I've got like, this is like a really rough kind of sugar and coffee kind of thing. I'm going to put them into this bowl once I make it see-through. I'm going to convert it to paint and then put those in. Maybe some of them will be opened and maybe like spilt like all over the floor and all over the place. So in the chaos. Okay, so that's the thumbnail done. Just going to get the video link. I'll put it in the Discord as well. It's funny, the thumbnail in the Discord, it's Dark River's comment that's on the front. Everyone can see it. Okay, let me just put it in Twitter as well. Alright, here we go. I'm just going to bring up the chat now. Okay, that should be just about ready to go. So like I said, like sculpting this kind of stuff, like the shelves and things, I could probably do that on stream. I don't think that would be too difficult. Like it pop up on the left. What is this? Work delay due to storm. Uh-oh. Yeah, I seen some storms. I don't know if you're in Florida, but I saw those storms. It looks crazy. So the side comment in your stream, like it popped up on the left. What, here? Like when you write a comment, it pops up on the left? Is that what you mean? If that's what you mean, that's a PS5 feature. I don't. You could put comments on PS4, but I think it was a bit different. You had to use this big ugly black bar on the side of the screen, whereas the PS5, it lets you just put pop-up comments. You don't have to keep, you know, that big black bar that used to come up on the PS4, and you have like a list of all the comments. And I hated it, so I never had pop-ups before. Yeah, it was the box chat. Yeah, I hated it. The PS5's got a nice feature here where you can put the comments down in the bottom left, or I think you can move it around, same with the camera. But it's quite inconsistent because sometimes it's like, yeah, the PS4 one was so ugly. I refuse to use it because it's like it divides the screen. So you could put like a message down in the bottom, and then you had the comments on the right or the left, I can't remember. And your screen was like condensed into like this little area here, and it would condense it for me as well. So I never liked to use it. I thought it was kind of ugly. I don't know why they decided to use that. Like who designed that? It's awful. So the PS5 lets you do that, but the only inconsistent thing about the chat is it only lets you do so many characters before it starts to disappear. But sometimes it lets you see a big message, other times it only lets you see like a small part of the big message. So I don't know why it doesn't just let me see most of the message, and then I can see the rest on the computer. Just sometimes it's inconsistent, but don't really know what else to do about it really. And things like that, if you put like emojis and things, they don't always work. Like the PlayStation does have emojis, but certain ones, like the cats in the box that you just sent, they don't appear. They're not compatible. No emotes. Yeah, but you can do some emotes on the PlayStation. I just don't know if it's compatible with the stream text. That's it really. So the only thing I need to do in like less than 10 minutes is just I need to turn off the oven. So don't let me forget. Say like when it's like 12-13 minutes past, I'll go and quickly turn it off. I don't want anything burning. So this is all we did last time, so I didn't even sculpt this on stream. I did that afterwards, but I feel like if I'm just going to look at reference images all the time, it's going to slow me down. So what you cooking, Chili? Actually, it's a cake. We're baking a cake. Not me, my wife. I can't bake anything, to be honest. But no one's in the house, so I'm going to have to jump out and turn on the oven off. So hopefully I don't forget. So what did I sculpt off stream? So I made a really quick mug here. Very simple, just a cylinder. Cut a hole in it, and there's different ways you can do the handle. I did a more of a rectangular handle, so I just got like a curved cube, put a hole through it. But if you want a more fancy curved one, you could use the curved tool, and you know, make it bigger at the top, maybe small at the bottom, kind of like an ear shape. But I decided I'm just going to go for this and keep it nice and simple. So I'm probably not going to do too much with the design. Once we get the update for the text, the sticker text, I'll be able to put fonts on this cup, and it'll actually wrap around it, which would be really cool. So yeah, I can paint stuff on it, but having some text would be easier, you know, like world's greatest creator, you know, and you could just wrap it around the mug and it'll be super easy. I'll probably do some variations of the mug as well. Number 1 best boss mug, that's it. We can get creative. Best crinkle of all. So I'll create some variations of this as well, like I'll maybe have some smashed on the floor, so I'll cut bits out, maybe a little bit of chips and stuff, maybe cut a handle off. Later on I'll just sort of scatter it around the floor when it comes time to do that, but I'll just sort of quickly texture a really simple one for now, and then when we get the text update I'll be able to make some fun little additions, so that should be quite fun when it comes to that. I made a spoon. Great spoon, isn't it? Actually turned out okay for a spoon. It's at the start I was like, how the hell do I make this kind of spoon-like shape? And I'm thinking, what's the best way to do it, you know? In the end, the sphere is really good because you can like squash the sphere and you can like stretch it and stuff. Some of the sculpts they don't let you do that properly, so the sphere is really good. You can make a lot of different shapes with it, and then you just need to cut a hole. So I made it as thin as possible, and then I just sort of cut a hole along the top of the sphere, and it just created this little bowl kind of shape. But yeah, that's just a sphere that's been stretched out a bit and pushed down. So quite simple, and then just a stupid handle. I didn't do anything fancy with the end, you know. Sometimes you got those spoons that have got like lots of decorative stuff at the end, and just kept it simple because that's a really small detail, so I don't think it matters that much. I tried to make a kettle. Looks okay, I guess. I didn't bother doing like the dial here. Again, once we get the text boxes, I can probably wrap a sort of like a measurement dial down this part here, just to show you the water level. But for now, I've decided I'm not gonna do that yet. So I think it looks okay. We'll make this all shiny, and then this part will be like a more of a plasticky kind of texture. This was just a little container. With a lid, and I actually textured like this bit on it, even though you may not see it, but I might do one that's opened and it's all kind of, everything's kind of fell out. But one thing I need to do is I need to convert it, this part of it, to paint, so I can make it see-through, and then I'm going to put some kind of substance inside. So you've got your coffee and stuff, and again the text thing is going to come in handy again, because you can actually make a label and then put text on the label saying like coffee, tea, sugar, blah blah blah. So it's a little detail, but it adds a little something, you know, because if I wanted to do that right now, I'd either need to draw it in, or I would have to place each bit of text and like rotate it, and it's so boring. And one cool thing I noticed about this text update that's coming, I didn't even think about this, but you know, you can put the background to the text and you can use like flecks. Well, I saw they were basically using those as textures. So they got like a fuzziness, and they stretched it, like say this was a pillar, and then they turned it kind of like a green colour, and it looked like ivy that was going down a wall. So, and before they changed it to green, it was black, so you could use that for like oil and dirt and whatever. So you can actually use the text box now for texturing as well, which is quite cool. So I'll need to experiment with that, maybe for more of the outdoor parts. Like if you want to texture like the bottom part of a road, you could probably mess around with the textures there. I'm just going to quickly turn off this oven. I'll be back in like 30 seconds maybe, if I don't burn myself. So just a second, guys. Okay, I'm back. I nearly killed myself. Nearly burnt my hands off. I survived the zombie apocalypse and all I got was this lousy mug. That's it. It's kind of cool though. I can put in some cameos and stuff because when you get to the hospital I was going to put in people's names on the sheets. The patient sheets, the charts and stuff. And I can also put people's names on the mugs as well. Why not? Yeah, really excited for the texturing with the text stickers. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I just thought, oh, I can wrap text around things now, but you can actually use the back bit and put it on top of things, and change the colour and the depth and things, and you can actually just texture using that. So that'll probably come in handy for certain kinds of texturing. Especially if you want to do like more cartoony kind of textures as well. But I still need to play around with it. I didn't really watch too much of the video. I want to see if, like, say I textured this door, right, and it's got like a really nice wooden finish. If I put the text on top of it, would it actually blend with the painted texture? Or would it just look like solid text? I don't know how it would work, but it will be a nice addition. It's a very small addition if you think about it, but it really does help do a lot of things. I reckon cell shading could be a lot easier now with text gadgets. Yeah, absolutely. And you don't need to have like them floating off the edge. I mean, you can if you want. I think even in Borderlands, when it does cell shading, a lot of the stuff kind of floats on top of the models, but definitely could do a lot of things quicker as well. Like if I wanted to outline the door, for example, I could just put the text around it. But yeah, that'll be good. I'll definitely test it out once the update comes out. We'll try a few things and see what works. So here's my mad kettle up here, and that was just the container. So that was all I made for that so far. Still want to finish off this brush. Then we've got the trolley that's going to have like all the things on it, but because of the chaos it's probably going to be like thrown on the ground and there's going to be things smashed everywhere, and so we'll get to that stage, that sort of layout kind of stage eventually. And about 2 shelves, I wasn't sure what size I was going to go for, so I made like a sort of bigger, wider one, and then I made like a smaller one, because we're going to use maybe this one on the records room, but I thought I'll make it now. Maybe I'll use it in this room as well, because I wanted at least one shelf. I don't know which one I'm going to use, or if I use both, but I can always use this one in the next scene anyway. So yeah, I just need to finish texturing the brush, figure out what I'm going to do with the textures for the doors. I wasn't sure because, again, I was looking at references for the textures on the doors, and it's more like a house kind of door, you know, like it's got like the quadrants that are kind of cut out, and I don't know, there's like a back kind of hallway. The doors don't need to look that fancy. Maybe this one, because this is like visible to the public, but this one's like going to the outside, so that could be maybe just like a plain door. Maybe the same with this one, but I'll make a different one from the outside one just to tell the difference. Like, okay, these doors are for the indoor parts, this door is leading outside. So I need to figure out how I'm going to texture it, but I haven't really practiced texturing like proper wooden doors and things. I've only been texturing like little stupid stuff like this, you know, so I'll need to see how far I'm going to go when it comes to texturing the doors. And here's just some cabinets, got a sink here, so I just need to finalise it. I need to cut out a hole because it's coming through, so I need to cut out a hole here, make these doors. I'm going to make all the doors open, same with these drawers, just because I feel like it would add more depth if like maybe a couple of these were open, just to like someone's kind of rushed through looking for a knife or something, and because you don't want it to look too neat and tidy. You want it to look like people really went crazy with it. So I'll need to make these individual drawers open and cut out the holes, because it's a big, I need to cut a big hole here so I can open these, and you can maybe see kind of what's inside, and the sink will be dropped down to about here, maybe some pipes here. So let's just start texturing some stuff in. So I've duplicated it just in case I want to start again plain without any paint. So the thermal's going to go up, but as long as it's manageable, it should be fine. So we can, I don't know how much texture I'm going to put into this. Maybe I'll do the variations just now. So I'll maybe just make your average kind of white one, very simple. What am I doing here? Spray paint. So there you go, we'll just make like a standard one to start with. I really want that text update, by the way. I think they're going to show it off. I don't know if they're going to show it off on tomorrow's stream, but I think it'll be out this week. I don't know if it'll be out on Thursday, maybe. So we'll do another survival horror stream at some point this week when the update comes out, and we can update this. So this is a very clean kind of mug. I'm just gonna, the dirtiest parts would be around the bottom, but if you've ever seen a mug that's people have been drinking tea and coffee in for a long time, they start to stain a little bit. So I'll probably start putting like some brown and light brown, dark brown kind of shading around some of the inside of the mug, and then on the bottom I'll just kind of dirty it up a little bit on the bottom here. So let me see, how dark would it go? I feel like when you use the black or the brown, it kind of gives you the same kind of effect, but I'm going to use the brown just because I want it to be a bit like brown dirty, you know. So people have been putting this down on the table. These are quite old mugs, so they've they've been used a lot, you know. So it looks like proper dirty on the bottom. I can probably bring the dirt up a little bit on the edges. Just so it's not like too clean, you know. But I don't want to make it too dirty because it does look a bit disgusting if you're presenting these to your clients and you're not properly washing your mugs. So I'll probably just put like a few little bits in here just to kind of give it a bit more definition, you know. And if worst comes to worst, we can just say they got dirty because people were grabbing them during the outbreak. No one's washing their hands. I don't think anyone cares. So I'll just kind of dirty it up a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, once we get the text on the front, that will look really good, I think. So in here, let me see if I can do like a lighter kind of colour. It's like, yeah, this has been used for years to make coffee or tea or whatever. So it's not really been properly cleaned. Could even make one that's just been used, you know, like it's just not been washed at all, you know. But I don't really like texturing clean things. I like everything to be kind of destroyed, you know. Big Bovaretta lipstick stain around the edge. Oh yeah, definitely. How would that look? What colours are lipstick like this? Make it a bit darker. There you go. Oh, could be blood though, right? Who knows? But yeah, that's just a simple one. So it's kind of dirtied up a little bit, nothing too crazy. To turn that back down again. I don't know, we'll just kind of texture a little bit, just cause so it's not like super white, you know. And there you go. So again, once we get the text on it, I think it will look really good. And plus, you can probably put emojis and things on the mug as well. So you know, it'll be good. Bove does love her strange brown hot liquids and mugs. Oh, I don't even want to know what kind of hot liquid she pours in there or where she pours it from. Could be anywhere. Part of me wants to really go to town on this, like make it really filthy. We could make like a separate one and just go a bit crazy on it, I think. Let me see. Since we're making variations, we'll make like the edges like all dirty and stuff. The more variations you make, the more thermal you use, but this seems quite well contained. It's not too large. So I think we can get away with making a few variations. And they're just like really dirty up the inside. Like maybe this one's like someone's literally just finished drinking it and they've just not had time to wash it. Survival priorities. So I'm kind of making it more faded because it's kind of just lying there, but it looks horrible. Can you imagine somebody, you went to the job centre and they just handed you this mug? Try to save water. Just get used to it. Let's put like some bits just going down here. Oh, this is what I enjoy doing the most though. If I could make like an abandoned house and then texture all of everything that was in the kitchen, I'd make everything really disgusting. Reusable coffee mugs. There's another new idea. So you can see this one looks a lot dirtier. A lot dirtier and a lot more used. So there you go, got another variation. We could make just another one for fun, just whilst we don't have the text gadget yet, but let me see. I do a love heart. I love it's kind of difficult to get it in, I might. It's hard to write it. I'll need to like make the bit smaller, but there you go. That's all we can do right now. Yeah, we can make some custom ones for now. But for the texture, I don't even know. Would it be rough? Would it be shiny? More shiny, I guess. I don't know how shiny it would be though. Because mugs can be shiny, right? But I think we'll leave everything. We'll do it once we get all the lighting in and stuff. Same with this one. This spoon. This would be very metallic. So you could probably just make it super shiny, super metallic, and look, there you go, you've already got a spoon. I didn't even need to texture it. But I probably will. Just to, again, just give it some more definition. Could do some cracks and bits chipped off the mug. Yeah, I was going to do like a smashed one, and then probably not do another one where I kind of chip it out. I just don't know what I'm going to do yet for it. Oh, it's got colours though. Done. See, I think I'm still in spray paint mode. I might change the colour. So I could do bits that are like proper smashed in. It's like, how do you do an organic one, you know what I mean? Like, try imagine, how would it look if I dropped this, you know? Stuff like that, but it's like a proper big... If we want to just use like a little chip, we can just take it off like the top part, you know. Things like that, like could chip the handle off as well. Stuff like that, you know. The only problem with now is that because I've chipped it, I'm going to have to delete the rest and just have that part on the floor if I want to make it like super accurate, you know. But yeah, it's got a couple of chips, broken handle, so this one I'd probably smash up a bit better. It would be good if you could actually create something in Dreams that was smashable, like it was a tool or something, and then you could literally just drop things and just let it break. I think in Little Big Planet 3 they had a tool like that where I think it was called the Shardinator, and it would just, you could put the value in, like how many shards do you want this to break into, like 5, 10, 15, whatever. So I could make a mug, duplicate it, put the Shardinator on it, get some broken pieces from it. I think it would look pretty good. You can crop the bits of the piece that you want. Is that like the opposite way of doing it? Let's see. I've seen the feature somewhere, I just don't know exactly where it is. It's a little sculpt tool with like a box and some dotted lines. Let me see. Oh, it's in here, that's it. So you can do a cutout like that. So it's like, just keep the part that's on the inside, and then you've got the crop, which looks like the same thing. I don't know what the difference is, to be honest. But yeah, that would be good. Saves me having to like delete certain parts. I can just kind of go like that and figure out what I want to keep. Let me see. I think crop just deletes everything outside the box. God knows. So yeah, it's like you keep everything inside, and the cutout does the same thing. I don't know the difference. Because look, it's deleting everything on the outside, cutout, same thing. So I'm not sure. But I'm probably using the wrong shape anyway, right? So if I wanted to keep like, okay, look, that's what it does. It's just when you're in this edit mode, look, it doesn't actually delete, kind of does like that, separates them. So that would be quite good then. Then I could just do the other part like that. Saves me having to just chip everything. What was that I used? I used the, that was the cutout one. And the crop, just, maybe that's the one that just deletes. Yeah, that's the difference then. One deletes and one creates the outline. So the cutout would be the one that I would use, because then I can say like, okay, this part smashed, and then we just have that part separated. So yeah, that's pretty handy. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, Housewoman. I think that's exactly what we need. So it means I don't, you can still smash things up, I suppose, if you don't want to show the other piece, you know, but this is actually a really good way to do it. So like the chips, like I don't really need to keep the chips, you know, but if I want to like chip off the handle and actually keep it, so this would be the way to do it. Yeah, so the cutout thing makes two sculpts out of the bits you cut out, and the crop only ends up with the stuff inside the selection box. That's pretty good. What would you use the crop for? Because if I use the stamp, I can do the same thing, right? Because it's the same kind of feature, right? Okay, surface snap off. If I want to cut something, you know, like that. But then you can use the crop. Maybe the crop makes it easier to do it, maybe? Who knows? But yeah, that cutout, that's perfect actually, because in the alleyway scene I created a smashed bottle, and that's what I did before. I cut the bit out, but I did it by deleting the parts, and then I got another bottle and I did the opposite. I deleted the other side and I used that part to scatter on the floor. But I'll go back and I'll use this cutout feature because that's actually really good. I never actually used the crop before. I guess it's better than using multiple negative spaces because it takes up less negative space thermal. Could be, yeah. But yeah, the cutout, that's really good then, so I'll definitely be using that. Moving forward. So yeah, we've got our variations there. Just as an example, right? Let's cut out one for now, right? How would we smash this? Try to figure a way that would look good. Because the way the shapes are, I don't want it to be. How would that look? Right, let's just use that for now, right? Let's just say we could put like a piece here and a piece here, just for now. We'll create better cutouts, I think. But there you go. There's an example of how it could look, and it's quite realistic. So, see. So there you go. You can make quite a lot as well. Even if you just want shards, you could get rid of that and just keep like all these little pieces, and then just scatter them around the floor. Like if you're just making a glass bottle, because if you smash the mug, it's easy to know where each piece comes from, but if you smash a bottle, it's like, that's quite difficult to put together again. So you could make like tons of shards and just throw them everywhere. And instead of just placing them down on the floor, I've seen some people that use like an emitter, and you can put the shards in the emitter, and then you could just like kind of scatter them all over the ground, and they'll have like physics on, so they will fall kind of naturally as well. Normally I like to hand place everything, but when it comes to that level of detail, you're probably better off just scattering things around randomly. I remember first playing Dreams and being so confused why they didn't have a shardinator. It just seems obvious to have one coming from LBP. Yeah, there's a few things from LBP that they've just never added to Dreams. I don't know if it was a limitation or they just never thought about it because they were too busy focused on all the other features, you know. I don't know how I'm really going to texture this spoon, but I'm just going to make it as shiny as I can. See, that's the thing, like, I could put the metallic on, right? Make it shiny. And then I wouldn't really need to texture it, really. Because it's got that kind of material where it's like, you don't really see dirt on it, you know what I mean? It's too clean, it's too shiny. Unfortunately, I don't know how to make it like realistic shiny. Like, I think that's as good as it gets in Dreams. I don't think you can make it like really shiny, you know, like where you can actually like see a reflection in it. I don't think that's possible. So I don't really know what else I could do on this one, to be honest. Especially because it's quite metallic as it is. So I think I'll just leave that one. Like if it had stuff on it like dirt or mud or something, I could put it on, but if it's just got like little surface dirt, you're probably not really going to see it, are you? So we'll leave the spoon like that. This damn kettle. It's got two parts. So it's got this part, which is going to be more silver and shiny, and then it's got this part, which is going to be more plasticky kind of colour. So I usually don't like to make things like dark as possible. I like to, because then if I did it like pure black, you could still like texture white bits on it, like little scuffs and stuff, but I don't like it to be like super. I like it to be more like that rather than like pure black, you know. So that means if I do want to put in some darker textures later on, I can do it. Not just the light textures, you know. So I can probably like just blend the two together, you know, just to give it a bit more of a shading to it, you know. Like you probably won't see much of it, to be honest, because it is so dark. But if I do the white part, like you can put like little scuffs on it. The problem is the white is very strong. Let me see if I do. See, I think that would look good, so you can kind of just get little scuffs on it. Once I get the text box, I'm probably going to put like a gauge here, so I probably won't texture that part just yet, but See how you can just put little bits of white on it just to make it more, not dusty, but just have it like little scuff marks, like it's been rubbed against, I don't know, the wall or something. Also we can pop our, this is like a little switch that I put in really quickly. So we can probably just put that there just to define it a little bit. But people are coming in the stream, they'll be like, what the hell are you making? What is this? This is very strange. Also, if you want smoother paint strokes, you can use the curve tool. It sort of smooths out the strokes when you're spray painting. If you use this. God, this looks like a very dodgy object, it does. Right, so this does what? It smooths out the strokes. Okay. Let me see. What happened? Okay. I'm not entirely sure. I'll need to test it and see. Normally I just like use the R2 button and it like, the more you hold it down, the more it sprays. Yeah, this is looking like a very dodgy kind of thing. There's actually people that make that stuff in Dreams, like proper make it. Because it's very possible to do it. So yeah, you're not really going to see too much from a distance. I could maybe just put a little bit on the switch. So it's kind of like people have pressed it a lot, you know. And then this part here, I was just going to make it like a silver kind of colour. I don't know if it's best to make it white. So we can either make it that, or even whiter. I still want to make it too shiny, you know, so maybe if I make it a bit darker, maybe that looks okay. Let me see how it would look once I put the metallicness on it. So not too shiny. That looks alright. Yeah, it looks not too bad. But I will texture it a bit anyway. Oh, Dark River with the super chat, thanks very much. 10 more minutes until 1 hour, got to go, have a good day. You too, Dark River. Hopefully the storm isn't too ferocious. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Yeah, I hope so too. So let me just texture this. Again, you could make it like a bit darker at certain points, but it's got a very metallic look, so you're not going to see too much texture, you know, so I'm just going to put little scratch details that you maybe just can't see properly, but they're there, they're there. It's a bit annoying that PS5 doesn't notify on-screen donations, makes it easy for you to miss them. Yeah. I guess it's an afterthought. They never really thought, hey, that's a feature. So I'll just put like some darker colours, some lighter colours, kind of blend them all together. I don't know how this will look once it's all metallic again. You might not really see any of it. It looks like an egg. I know, a beautiful egg, doesn't it? An egg that I've chipped the top and bottom off. There you go. So at least you can kind of see that it's got a bit more texture to it. And then once I make it metallic, you can kind of still see the texture, which is not too bad. Just going to have to mess about with the... See, I don't like it when it gets that shiny, because that's like... I hate that little bit there. Just a second, guys. It was raining like crazy, and I wasn't sure if the windows were open upstairs, so I had to run upstairs, make sure everything was good. So yeah, I was saying I don't like this kind of texture here. It looks a bit funky, so I just don't like it to be as shiny as that, you know. But we can change all this once we get the lighting in, because sometimes things look fine, but then other times not so much, you know. Like, I'll make it like that for now, and it looks kind of okay. Depending on the lighting, see, if you look like that, you can kind of see things get a bit dodgy, but I do have the studio light on just now, so if I turn it off, it's like you can see the sun right now. So I'll need to, depending on, I'll have a roof and stuff, so you won't necessarily see all that stuff, but this is the stuff that I'm going to have to tweak as I'm doing the lighting. Damn, you're lucky you've got rain. It's alright when you're inside, but when you go outside, not so much. Let's see. Okay. Kettle looks great. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I think it gets the job done. And then once I can wrap the text, I'll try and make like a numbers gauge here with like a water level, but it's not a big deal because I could easily just like hide it from the camera so you don't actually see it. So for this one, I'm going to have to turn this one into paint so that I can put I can make it see-through. but I don't want to make this see-through, just this part. So let me see, can you do detail when you're sculpted in? So I need to basically make it really high detail. Look how high detail you can make that, that's crazy. And then convert to paint, and then there's a setting you can use, can't remember exactly where it was, maybe this one, I don't know. Not sure exactly, but there was a way you could do it, and then it just made less holes in it. But if I'm going to make it see-through, I just want to make it kind of blend. So I'm going to have to do a lot of messing around. One thing I noticed, see the sphere, the cylinder in the middle, that's the one that I used to delete the hole. And you can actually, when you convert it to paint, you can actually see it. But I don't think it's that big of a problem, to be honest. Let me see the thermal. Did that thermal go back down? Let's see. 23. Right, it didn't go back down then. Right. What I'll do for now, right, I'll turn the convert off and I'll put the sculpture detail back down again. So I don't want it to be too crazy high, you know. Right, was that it? Thermal's fine with the convert, it's the original sculpt that you detailed. That's weird that, isn't it? Because this is the one that I increased, but yeah, you're right, it probably took it as a duplicate and then it made the other one really high thermal. Yeah. I just don't want to get rid of this one because I could make it again, but it's like when you convert it to paint, it's like, that's it, you can't go back, you're done. So I'll probably just make like a template one for now, just to sort of see. Because it's just that part I want to convert. And you see what I mean, you see a lot of holes, but I don't think it matters too much for now. Because I was kind of getting the same effect anyway. Hey Zeno, welcome back to the stream. Hope you've been doing well. I'm doing very good, thanks. Working on my fan game. All good. Have you got any details to share with us? I don't know if this... if I can change anything to make it look a bit better. Let me see. You do? That's good. So you can make it like that as well. Makes it a bit more foggy. Don't know, can you put... No, I was going to say, can you spray paint on top of the flex, but I don't think you can. But then I could take like this, and I was just going to like put this inside, so it was like... You don't know exactly what it is, but this is meant to be coffee. So it kind of looks like it. As long as there's something inside the jar, you know. I don't know the best technique to make glass, that's the only problem. See, because you want to make glass, but You don't want to make it too much, you know. Plus I can probably mess around with these settings. Like, as long as it's got the rough kind of idea, I'm happy. And then just need to texture this top part now. The update is mostly quality of life improvements, bug fixes and upgrades to the graphics, because I've improved a lot with graphics since the last update. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I feel like as I get better with making graphics, it's like I need to restart everything and update everything. Let's get a darker shade here. Looseness can sort out the holes pretty well if you turn down the fleck thickness. The thickness. Right, let me just make a black cap there. The fleck thickness. I don't know. I did stretch it, but I guess it's your preference if you prefer it like that or like that, you know, because you can make them smaller. Because I could make it like that as well, you know. It's like there's different ways you can do it, you know. Like if you want to make it more clearer, you could do it like that. That looks quite good, like, but then it's like a little bit too much, you know. So it's really just your preference what looks good for you, you know. How much do you want to see inside? How crazy does the glass look? And I've learned a lot more about what actually makes a game good and fun to play. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I still need to learn how to do that. I'm just winging it. Hopefully it works out. Try 25% looseness. 25. So you can do it like that. It's got like a bit of a cracked kind of glass feel, but you could, like, if you want to make it more like that or more see-through. I mean, that looks okay. From a distance, I don't know. From a distance, I probably need to up the opacity just enough, you know. Don't know if the finish does anything. Does that change much? I don't really see. You could maybe change the colour of the glass as well. If you make it more metallic, it kind of makes it a bit clearer as well. Make it a bit more rough as well, makes it a bit darker, which is good. So I could maybe make it like that. Let me see. Yeah, I could just keep it like that for now. It's kind of see-through at a distance. Maybe a bit too much, but we'll see. We'll see how it looks. So I'll just quickly texture this cap at the top. Yeah, it's quite difficult to make glass. For me, I add finish, 100% looseness, 135% stretch, and some glow with saturation down, but I don't know how that would work in your environment because of the glow. Yeah. I'll need to just see what it looks. Again, with everything I'm texturing, once we get it in the scene with the lighting and the cameras, if it looks funny, then we can edit it a little bit, you know. Because there's different kinds of glass. You can get like proper see-through glass. You can get like cloudy glass. You know, it just depends what you're looking for. I guess that does the job. I just need to. I'll probably need to tweak it a bit more when I do the actual lighting as well. But I won't spend too long on it. I'll just start texturing this bit. And I've made the choice to scrap the paintbrush game. Were you not feeling it anymore? Was it not living up to your expectations? So I used that one so I can... Let's see, what does that look like? I can't really see it too much. I was just going to put like little marks around the top, you know. I took off the studio lighting so you couldn't really see. What the hell was this on my screen? Excuse me? I don't care what Putin did. Goodbye. I'm going to report this as well. Sorry, I didn't see that. Was working on Dreams. Come on, man! Anything could have happened there. I was getting better at creation so quickly that it became something that wasn't really my standard. Even the concept has become something that I wouldn't consider to be good now. Yeah, I guess you kind of evolve, don't you? And start to make some better stuff over time. So I feel like I was the same with the survival horror game. Like if you play the first demo, it looks a lot different. It's going to play a bit different once I improve with my own models and animations and stuff. But you'll definitely see an improvement between the two demos at least. Right, so just kind of. Doesn't need to be anything crazy. Just kind of putting something on it, you know. So then we've got a jar, and then if you want to make so that's meant to be coffee, right? But let me group it together. I don't think I did that yet. Hold on, let me see. Right, group that together. And then if you want to update this to like, I don't know, sugar or something, you can do that. And just sort of stack them like that. So I'll do like some that have been spilt, maybe some of them have got lower quantities in them, but we'll leave that for when we actually lay out the scene. So far we've done all of the bits for the tea and coffee. I'm going to remove the spray paint, and once we get the text wrapping around it in the update, we'll do more of these cracked kind of experiments. Everything else seems to be good. I don't know if I'm going to smash this up, because since I'm making see-through glass, it's a bit more difficult. So I might not crack any of these, unless I say like, oh, that's not glass, that's like plastic or something, see-through plastic, and then it doesn't crack. But I will spill some of this stuff, maybe like over the edge of like the counter or something. It'll be opened, and then there'll be bits that have like that's fallen down onto the floor, and I can spray paint the floor as well to put some dirty coffee stains around the unit and stuff. So that's an idea. So most of these things are also going to go on this little trolley. I think I'm just going to make like a darker trolley. The wheels, everything else is one sculpt, but the wheels is independent because I'm probably going to turn the wheels to face different directions. So depending on how this cart is positioned, so if it's on its side, the wheels will hang more like that. So I made them all individual just so I can change the position. I didn't like connect them to the trolley or anything, so you can't actually use the trolley. The wheels don't actually spin, but I'll detail one because it's really a really quick job I did on this, and then once I've got this one, I'll just duplicate it to the other position, so I don't need to paint like 4 individual parts, you know. So let me see. What colour should we make this? Kind of want to make it all one colour, to be honest. Just makes it easier, you know. It's like we could make it like that. I do like that kind of colour. See, I don't like making things like proper black. I don't know why, I like it just to be like slightly off black. And then it's good because you can then do the whole scuff kind of thing with like the grey colours and stuff. I personally don't do demos because the height of what the gameplay is going to feel like it's kind of lost. Yeah, I just did demos because the game is going to take so long to finish, and it's good to get like a little preview. Plus, I can get feedback as well. So there's some good things, I guess. But I can't wait to get this new and improved demo out because I think it's going to be a lot better than the original one. I don't know if this is scuff marks or if this is just like bits of sugar that fell off the tray, you know, and just kind of went everywhere. You know, just kind of. Just to give it some marks, I don't know. But I can always blacken these out again if I don't like it. So I only release my games in either full, or if the game is designed to have updates, it will have more content updates. Yeah, for me, after I finish this game, this will be like the last game I make from start to finish. I'm just going to be making games where I make like the first level or the first chapter, and then after that I can just slowly update it, because I feel like building up to a big release is kind of gone for Dreams now. I don't think there's enough people playing the game for that anymore, so who knows, but in the future I'll just be like, I'll be streaming like I normally do, and then I'll be like, well, this area's done, I'm going to publish it. If you guys want to play it and test it out, go ahead. But the full game will just be getting made slowly over time. Because with Subject, I used to make like the full game first, and I blocked it all out, which is normal. But I feel like takes too long, and then maybe people lose interest, because there's a lot of people that used to come into these streams that I've not seen in a while, so it's like maybe they never get to play this game because maybe they left Dreams, for example, you know. So I'd rather just make my games bit by bit, let people play each level. If they want to come back to the next level, great. And I'll just keep making as much as I can, to be honest. I don't even know what I'm doing with this, by the way. Let me see. Let me see if I can do if I do a different colour, maybe it would. That's a bit too much. It's like someone proper put crayon on it. Right, let me go back. Make it really dark again in some bits. Because I think you can make like a dark like this with the blackness as well. Since I didn't use it as the base colour. And you can kind of have like these streaks going across it. So it's not like it's dirty, it's just kind of scuffed up. I think you can kind of blend, like, because I used the white and then I used the black here, you can kind of blend the two colours together, and sometimes it can look quite good. You know, like if you're smudging it with your finger. So, you know, just something like that, and I'll probably need to do the same underneath, just in case I flip this on the other side. I'll need to make sure it's got some kind of texture underneath, but nothing too crazy. Just enough to make it look a bit more textured. And like I said, the wheels are separate, so I'll just texture one, then I'll copy it over. So it's not going to be a big deal. I'm not going to put too much detail in because these wheels didn't really have much detail, to be honest, to begin with. They're very plain kind of wheels. Let me fix this. So the wheels are quite small. Again, you're probably not really going to see much. I could up the detail on these as well because they're quite flecky. But since they're very simple wheels, they just need to look smooth. They don't really need to have like anything in between, you know. So you're not really going to see the side of the wheels, but I'll just put in little bits here just to make it look like it's been used. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
The cake has arrived.
Orange and ginger.
It smells great.
Yeah.
So I'll just put on one wheel here. Right, so just gonna scuff up the wheels a bit. And then I'll put in the dark blackness again. But it's hard to see when the flecks are this low, you don't really get to see too much of the detail, you know. So it is there, but if I want to increase the detail, you probably, am I going the wrong way? Nah, I was going the right way. So like you can keep increasing it, and you can actually see the shape that it was supposed to be before, you know. So I guess it looks a bit better because it's more defined, the cat bit on the top, and then you can actually see the edits a bit better. But it's just a stupid little wheel. I don't really care too much about this. So I'll just keep it as it is, and then I'll just duplicate these so I don't need to do the same thing over and over again. But when I used to make assets, when I started making them, I was making sure like all the detail was like super perfect, like all the integral parts, like even the wheels would have like little bits of detail on them. But they're so small, like even for a first person game they're small, but for my game that's going to have fixed cameras, like the camera might be up at like here for example, and you can't really see the wheels that much, so I've started to try and stop putting too much effort into the smaller little details that you can't really see. It just takes too long, I think. So I'll just save, make sure I don't lose anything. And then it's just these two shelves, which are kind of the same kind of texture, so I probably won't do anything too crazy with them. I was going to put, like, you know, sometimes on these side parts here, they have like little holes in them, but nah, my god, that is so annoying to do it. Like when I was building the big truck, they had like little screw parts that went all around, and putting all those in was a nightmare. Like you could put individual screws in and just copy and paste and it would be easier, but I'm trying to save as much thermal as possible, so I was like making it all one sculpt, and then it meant I had to spray paint all the detail in every single little bit, and sometimes it just gets a bit much. So I'm just going to make a simple metallic kind of shelf. You could make it like a blue kind of colour, you know, and then make it more metallic. Let's just keep it simple for now. Oh, need to take off the grid. Right, so again, once I make this metallic, it's going to change the colour and the texture, so I'm not sure if I want to make it more dark or more light and then add the detail in. When I was looking at the blue, well, if you make it metallic, it could really change it up a bit, but let's just test. If I put it, see if I make it more metallic. See, it's more like that. Yeah, it should be fine. Like, I think once I texture it, we'll see how it goes. Oops. I can bring this down. Right, let's see. See if we can make it a bit dirtier. So again, you still want to make them look like they're too new. You want to make them just a little darker. Hopefully when I put the metallic shine back on, it'll get rid of some of the darkness, but it'll keep just enough, you know. So I'll just fix the edges now. So this is the parts I like to do, like if I was properly making this dirty, I'd be like getting right in the corners here and like really making them proper dirty, you know. So I'll just kind of define these bits a little more. Let me see how that would look. Guess it's okay. It's going to be boxes and stuff on this shelf, so even though I'm texturing a lot of the edges and stuff, you may not even see it in the end, so I won't go too crazy. Just enough that I can just add a bit of definition to them, you know. Right. Put bits on the side. But yeah, I usually find this kind of stuff very therapeutic. But the thing is, I've kind of been doing this all day, so like sculpting and now I'm texturing. It's like when you start doing it the whole day, it becomes a bit more tedious, you know. I think I'll be taking a break from this today after this stream. But it's good the amount of progress I could make both on and off stream today, because once we get these shelves done, then I need to finish off the brush, do the doors, finish off building that sink cabinet so I can texture that. I'll need to figure out what I'm going to do for the texture for the floors and the walls, and then just kind of detail the scene, like putting the mugs around all smashed and things like that. So I don't think it's going to take me too long to finish this scene, and then I think the next scene is going to be quite quick to do, because it's going to be the computer room. Not the computer room, but it's the storage room, and there is a computer in there, but it's mostly going to be one of these cabinets, and I'll make like some more a different kind of box. I'll make the files, the file binders, some folders, and then I'll put those on the shelves and scatter them on the floor and stuff. So I don't think that scene will take too long to make either. And then after that we've got like the bathroom, which there's a few things I'll need to make for it, but this should be simple enough. And then you've just got like the waiting room, which that'll probably take a bit of work because there's a car that drove through the window. So I think there's going to be a lot of detail there. Going to make some plants, going to make some tables and chairs, some magazines. Again, once we get the new text feature, I might be able to make like some magazines and have the text wrap around the pages, things like that. Then there's the staircase. I'll need to decide where I'm going to put the staircase. It's probably going to be a different location than it was in the demo. Then when you go upstairs, there's the other hallway. There's actually, I think there's going to be another bathroom upstairs, but I'm going to block it and maybe just use it for the second character's campaign, like when he arrives in the building. That means he's got like a bonus route that you can take. Then there's the waiting room, not the waiting room, there's the interview room, and then there's the computer room, which, since I'm going to make my own computers, I might fix a problem I had, because the computers I was using in the original demo, they had a lot of lag, like frame rate issues on the regular PS4. I don't know about the Pro, but the PS5 was perfect, but when you go back and play it on a regular PS4, it's rough. Like, it's not unplayable, but it's like you can kind of feel the difference. And I think it's just because that community asset for the computers was a bit heavy for some reason. I don't know why. The sculpt didn't look that crazy, but there was a lot of computers in the room. So I think overall it just kind of made the scene a bit rough. So I'll be making my own computers and starting to test on my PS4, regular PS4, because everything I'm making right now, I'm only testing on the PS5. So before the demo comes out, I'll need to do a quick test on the PS4, see if I can optimize it. If I can't, then I guess regular PS4 players are going to have to live with it, but I'm sure it won't be that bad. I feel like most of the stuff I'm making is quite thermal efficient, so I don't think I'll have much to worry about. Yeah, so I did the half. You can already see the difference between the top part and the bottom part. So just need to do this part now. I've got that cake there. I wasn't really going to eat it on stream, but it's kind of staring at me. It's a sec. I'm going to take a little nibble. Just a little one, right? Just to get a taste. So good. Normally I only stream for like 2 hours because I normally get like a headache and stuff, but if I ever got into the habit of like streaming for like 3-4 hours, I would definitely need to bring snacks to kind of refuel a bit. I don't know if you guys like to eat when you're creating or playing games, or if you're too focused on what you're doing to even notice. I'm going to try not to go too crazy with this. I don't know what the paint limit is. There's only so much you can paint on an object, so because this is a bigger object, I'm like, maybe I should be careful here, but I'm only using one colour, really. I'm not going too wild. Like when I made the big dumpster, I was using green, brown, black, mixing it all together. Then I started to get warnings. But the only object that I ever had problems with texturing was the crates that I made, because they were so intricate, and I was trying to put like dirt in all the little bits. And it did look really good. Like the first half of it looks really detailed, and then it was like, nope, you're running out of paint. So then I had to kind of botch the other half, so it doesn't look quite as dirty, you know. But it's enough from a distance to make it look kind of okay. I forgot to put this bit. Kind of outline it a bit. It's kind of annoying because once I do this shelf, I'm going to have to do the next shelf, and it's kind of identical, but it's a smaller one, I guess. But it's got more layers. Hey, Overworld Games, how are you? I'm doing pretty well, thank you for asking. What have you been up to these days? Yeah, I'm just finishing texturing this shelf that I made. Very sophisticated shelf, huh? Good, that's good. It's very good. Once I finish giving this a brief kind of texture, I'll show you some of the objects that we've been working on today. It's been a long while since I last saw you. Has everything been going well for you? Yeah, not too bad. It was a little difficult with my schedule because my son was he wasn't in nursery yet, so it means I couldn't work. So I usually have to work at night. So it meant like all my time during the evening, the afternoon when I could stream was kind of gone. But now he's at nursery, so it gives me more time, so I can stream and then I can do my other work when I can. Just frees up a bit more time for me now. So last week we streamed Monday, Tuesday, and before that I was quite sick, so like I had a really bad cough and I couldn't speak much, so I didn't stream for like almost 2 months, which is really annoying. But I'm back now. We did Monday, Tuesday last week. This week I'm still trying to do a full stream schedule, like Monday to Friday, if I've got the time, because I feel like it's really helping me get these projects done, you know. So I'll definitely stream more this week, and I'll aim to eventually stream every day, Monday to Friday. Working on survival horror, working on some smaller games. There's also this big RPG project that I want to work on. Since it's going to be more of a sci-fi kind of thing, going to alien worlds, it means that if I do sculpt, I don't need to look at reference images. I can just use my imagination and make a fun little, not fun little, but like a big kind of epic RPG game. We'll see how that goes. Hey Beth, welcome back. It's been a while. It has been. I was just telling Overworld there that I was sick for almost 2 months, so I kind of lost my rhythm a bit, but I'm about 99% good again, so I'll be streaming like normal again, and hopefully we'll get this demo done, and then we'll have more of an idea when the full game's going to come out. Plus the short games that I'm working on. I'm working on like a top-down pixelated shooter with Hal Schmoomin in the chat, and I wouldn't say it's nearly finished, but it's coming along quite well. It's kind of like Hotline Miami. It would be nice if I could release something before Halloween. Not horror themed, but just get a little game out, because it's been a while since I've published anything. So yeah, I've got a few smaller games I'm collaborating with a few people, and hopefully I'll get to stream those as well. I probably won't stream those every week, but every now and again I'll stream one of those projects. If I don't stream it, I'll probably make a short video log for YouTube and Twitter. But right now my priority is getting the survival horror done, and maybe the sci-fi RPG, like just to practice more sculpting and texturing and stuff like that. So I'm not just working on the survival horror all the time. It might get a bit stale, you know. That looks a bit bad. I just wanted to ruin it a bit, but I don't think it looks good. Right, I'll just put like a couple of a couple of lines here and there. So it looks a bit better now. Well, I'm glad you're feeling alright. Thanks very much. Yeah, it was horrible. It's never good when you can't do what you want to do. How far is your survival game doing? Well, after I released the first demo with the community assets, I decided I want to make my own graphics. So I basically had not restart the game, but I had to basically do all the graphics again. But the level design is roughly the same, just a little bit different. Like this hallway was the original hallway, like from the demo, but I've made it much shorter, much more condensed, and I've changed a few things, a few ideas I've got here. Like I'm going to put like a sink with like some cabinets here, and some we made some mugs that we smashed up. So I'm going to redo the first demo. I'm going to put out the second demo with the other character, and then I'm just going to keep pushing forward to see how much I can get done. But the game definitely will be released next year. I've said next year is the final year. I'm not going to keep working on this for another year. It's been too many years. So I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to stick with the graphics I've got, the gameplay I've got, and I'm just going to make it, and hopefully it's good enough. But we'll see next year how I'm going to release it. I'll either release it as intended, the full game, but if I get to a point where I feel like that's not going to work, I'll just release the game in like 3 parts. So you'll have like the streets part, the hospital part, the underground lab part, and I'll just put them out whenever. I don't think a lot of people are playing Dreams these days, so I don't know, we'll see what happens. If multiplayer comes out and PS5 versions and things start to look up, then I'll be like, okay, well I'll finish my game fully, put it out, but until then, I don't know what I'll do. But yeah, we made a radiator, textured that bad boy as well. We made this big files box as well, textured that. We kind of made a start on a broom, I just never finished it because it's a bit tedious. I got all the bristles in a group, I just need to texture it and then just kind of, you know, just kind of put it together. And see, that looks quite good already, but I'll do that soon. We did the mugs, so we've got a couple of variations. One that's more clean, just needs a bit, it's got a bit of a stain, you know, from overuse. This one was really dirty. This one we've got live bove. We've got one here that's got some chips on the top, and then we were practicing with like smashing cutting it all up so we could put some scattered around the floor, like people were running away from in a panic from the zombies, things like that. Got the spoon here, which I didn't really texture, I just kind of made it more metallic. I guess that's all I really need to do. I've got a kettle here that I made. These are little glass or plastic containers that have like coffee and sugar and all that, and I'm going to open them up and spill them all over the floor. I've got a little tea tray here, which is probably going to be falling on the floor. So, and then we made the first big shelf. So we'll see how all that looks once I've got like the proper lighting in, because this is just the default. But once I get the proper lighting in, it'll look quite good. And we'll put some of the boxes here and a few other things. I don't know if I'm going to use both of them for this scene, but there's a files room in here, which is going to use a few of them. I'll probably make a file cabinet as well. A file binder, stuff like that, and then texture this. So, and the doors as well, I'm going to make a couple of door variations. So there's still work to be done, but if I do another live stream of the survival horror this week or 2, who knows if I've got time, I like to think I'll have most of this stuff textured, and the walls and the floor and everything. And this scene will be almost done, like not finished, but I'll still need to, mess around with it, make it look good. But I feel like I can get most of this done this week, and then we can work on the file room next, and maybe the bathroom and the other sections. Just got to keep consistent with it, I think. There's still people playing Dreams. I have seen a couple of finished games. One of them was a prologue for a Bully inspired game. Looks really good. Not seen that yet. Yeah, I know Paolo Lamaris, I think his name is. He was Genesis is called on Dreams. He makes a lot of good games, and he's making like a first person arcade shooter kind of thing, kind of like a sci-fi Doom game. Looks quite good. There was another kind of like a walking simulator game called Isle of Eris, I think, and that's like over 3 hours long, so that's another big investment. Plus, if you like horror games, if you remember that Bioshock kind of Soma inspired game called Pressure, the second chapter of that came out a few days ago as well. So yeah, I think from a creator point of view, there's still a lot of people that are making like big games. You got Reckley who's making his game as well. You've got Hal Schmuman, Small Man. He's making some more projects. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what he's working on, but he's always working on new games and things. So there's definitely a lot of good creators that are still around and making things. It's just people playing the creations. It's not so common anymore, I'm working on a Game Pass of Shorts. Game Pass of Shorts? What is that? Like, if I had to guess, it's like short mini games, maybe. Houseman with the eyeballs. He knows what's up. He knows what he's working on. But yeah, it contains every single game in Dreams, including PS5 games in Dreams. Whoa, that is ambitious. Is it like basically Dreams Game Pass? Oh, so are you making like a folder that has every game and every category and all that kind of stuff? Yeah, that would be good. That would be really good, actually. A lot of work, but I think that would be really good. Be like a top curator. Your game will be in there too, hopefully, once it's done. But I think I'm going to, since I'm getting back into streaming again, I think we'll get all these demo environments done soonish, and then I just need to get good at sculpting my own character, and then I'll need to redo all the logic and the animations and everything. Same with the zombies. So it depends how long that takes me. If I get lucky and start to make things a lot quicker than anticipated, then the demo will be ready. But I feel like I'll reach a point where the progress on the game will go really quickly, because when we get to the hospital we'll be reusing a lot of the same assets. The problem is right now we're doing like the streets part, and there's just so many different locations. Like there's a restaurant, there's a grocery store, there's the job centre, which has tons of rooms in its own, like the toilet, the computer room, there's the alleyways, the streets. There's like so many variations of scenes. But when you get to the hospital, they will have some variations, like the outside part, the lab, the cafeteria, but there will be a lot of the wards, the corridors, the rooms, they'll be the same aesthetic, just kind of rearranged a bit differently. So I think that'll go a lot quicker. In the lab, I don't know how long that will take, because that does have a lot of unique areas, but it's got the same idea. It has like a general theme. The hospital, the lab, it's all very generalized, whereas the streets is like so complex. There's so many different locations to build, so that's why this section of the game is taking so long. But I'll get it done. I'm determined to finally get this out. Is there a Nemesis inspired in subject? Yeah, there is. You can actually see it. I released a very short teaser for Dreams.com, and I put the Nemesis kind of monster on display. But I still need to work on the actual logic as well. So for the boss fight and the chase scenes and stuff. But yeah, there is a Nemesis. There's 6 main bosses in the game, but I need to sculpt 5 of them. Robo Killer, he sculpted the Nemesis style one, which was really good. But the rest of them I'm going to have to get good at sculpting and rig them all up and make them good boss fights as well, like not just looking good but moving really well and attacking you, and that's going to take a lot of work. But I try and not think about it too much because I don't want to make it so daunting on myself. Just hope if I get this demo out, the second character demo out, maybe before the end of the year as well, it means I'll get a lot of good feedback, maybe some hype, and then next year I'll just go crazy and get the game done. Whether I release it all in one go or in chapters or parts or whatever, I'll get all that out. Puppets are definitely hard to work with the rigging and sculpting sounds like a nightmare. Yeah. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a male zombie, a female zombie, rig them all up, and then I'm just going to change like some minor details in the clothing and the hair, but then reuse the same zombie. So for the entire game, basically. The other enemy variations, they probably won't be so human, so I can probably just make one of them, like a monster for example, and then just keep reusing the same one. But then I've got the NPC people, the characters that are going to be in the cutscenes, so there's a lot to do. I think I can get the sculpting down. It's just the facial rig, like making a good face is difficult, and also to make them speak and blink and, you know, have some kind of expression in the cheeks and stuff, like that's going to be difficult, and I'm going to have to do that with a few characters that speak in the game. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of work, but I'm trying not to make it so daunting on myself. I'm just going to be like, take it one step at a time. And I'm trying to keep myself sane by playing other games, creating the shorter games, and any other game that I make, whether big or small, just release in small phases, so it won't be this big build up, you know, to release. Plus, not all my games will be super realistic like this, so I can probably get away with doing more simple graphics. You know, things that are just more colourful rather than dirty, you know. think I'll just finish, like, what's this, how many, I've got all these layers to do. I'm getting a bit tired, to be honest, of all this painting. So I'll probably just leave it here for tonight. I'll just paint a few more edges on this bit. Did you know you can use text displayer to make reflections now? Reflections? No, I didn't. I know they're adding that new text thing where you can like use it as a sticker and stuff, but and you can texture in that, but I didn't see reflections. Does the mirror work on the sculpt, LB? The mirror? What do you mean, the mirror tool? That's that all dirtied up. So yeah, the mirror tool could help doing more sides at once. When you paint, I don't know. Let me see. Let's try this. Apparently my origin is here. Why? I don't know. Clipped mirror. Hide mirror. Yeah, because I'd need to fix my origin. Look at that, it's so messed up. Like, I see the idea, like if I did that I could do both at the same time, but I don't know, how do you fix the mirror origin? That'll be something I'll need to figure out. Because when I sculpt things, right, I don't say like, oh, this is the middle, and then I'm going to stretch this out to here, and then I'm going to stretch this out to here. I don't do that. I just put a cube down and I stretch it in one direction. I don't mathematically do both sides, you know. Yeah, that's an annoyance. The origin is fixed permanently until you undo it all, so it wouldn't really work. Yeah, I need to like plan it, I guess. So I'd need to put my block here, stretch it to each side, and then it would work. But I didn't really plan for that, unfortunately. I really need an option to set the mirror origin. I know, it's so stupid. You should just be able to grab it, put it here, and then it works, you know? I mean, I'm no programmer, but it just seems like a feature that should be done relatively easily, maybe. So at least I sculpted a good amount of things today. Still got a few more things to do, but it's mostly texturing work, texturing the walls and the floor and the doors. I'll finish off that sink. Maybe add a few things like a little mini fridge to keep the milk in. Maybe a little bin or something on the bottom. And then we'll texture all that again. And then this scene will be kind of all sculpted and all textured. It just needs a few little placement details. And it should be all good. It's probably like hardwired, sealed into the engine where they can't change it without changing the whole game. Yeah, they didn't think it through either, did they? I didn't think it through when I was mirroring it, and they didn't think it through from their own origin. So I'll finish texturing this other shelf later. Just need a bit of a break now, I think. I'll need to texture a couple of different types of doors. The floor, the walls, get this brush finished and textured. This sink and cabinets, get all that functional and textured, and then just kind of work on what's on the floor, the boxes and the mugs and all this stuff that's been spilt, and all the shards are all over the floor and stuff. So I think I'm going to stream tomorrow. But I might give the sci-fi RPG a go, because I want to just sculpt some crazy stuff and without looking at reference images, without looking at realistic things. So I might do that tomorrow. The idea is to keep streaming throughout the week, so we'll just see what happens. But the survival horror, we could pick this up again on Wednesday or Friday. We'll see what happens. But I'll definitely try and do another stream this week with the survival horror to get this scene kind of done, kind of. And then it means next week we can focus on another area or two. Because I think if I can get like 1 or 2 areas done every week, then this demo should be done pretty soonish. So I'm going to do 2 saves. I'm going to do a local save and I'm going to do an online save just to be safe. It's private. I'll just type down sculpted and textured more assets. There we go. That'll do. So we don't lose any progress, God forbid. So I'll see about the stream tomorrow, what I'm going to do for it, if I do it. But I'll try and stream as much as I can this week. And we'll just see what happens. So thanks everyone for tuning in today for more progress. Thanks for sticking with me in the survival horror game. It will get finished one day, I promise. So enjoy the rest of your night or your day, wherever you are. And I'll see you for more streams this week. So take care everyone, and I'll see you all soon.